All right, today is April the 17th, 2016. We're watching the eastern U.S. rainbow loop, and for about 2.5 days, we've had this low pressure stalled right over the Four Corners states. It's moved a little bit to the northeast. It's moved a little bit. The core of this thing has moved a little bit, but basically, it's been here for about 2.5 days. It's been stalled here by an area of high pressure that's been parked in place to prevent any eastbound movement of this system. Uh, we have another low pressure out here. This is about 1,004 millibar system. And so this has been stalled in place to prevent the merging of these two systems, is what I believe is happening here. We have high pressure that's been put into place. This is sitting uh, in place. Everything is just stalled. We got the high pressure here that is stalled in place. We have this system that's not going anywhere. The tail of this system is moving up, and they have a blockade, as I pointed out last night, that is still in place. Let's go ahead and look at this in the water vapor loop. We can see that channel of dry air is still installed in place. This is done with a radar, and that is heating that air and generating high pressure on demand. And we have there's no crossing of that water vapor over this path here that's been, this channel that's been cut. And so this water vapor is moving on and not mixing and feeding that vortex. Meantime, we have a lot of severe flooding from in Texas, in East Texas, because of what's happening here. This system should have moved through 2 days ago. This has been stalled here, and because these controllers have stalled this storm, look what's happening to Texas. It's getting severe flooding. These thunderstorms are way down here on the magenta, which is most severe rain, 3-4 inches an hour of rain that they're talking about, maybe more. So this has all been orchestrated to prevent these two systems from merging. And we can see that the high pressure right here is starting to break down. We have another path here that's feeding this system, and that's from the tropics. We have a tropical flow here, and that flow is coming over here and feeding this vortex. So it looks to me like the Air Force and the people that are running these transmitters, the Defense Meteorological Agency, may not have enough transmitters to go around. This is stalled. This has not really gone anywhere in the last. It's moved slightly to the east a little bit, but this is interesting. Let's go back and take a look at the the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We have this thing developing right here. This is a little Gale force system. It is currently moving to the east. We can see all the chemtrail activity right here in these last few frames. In fact, every frame has chemtrails. So tomorrow in California, we're going to see a lot of chemtrail activity in the skies, and we can see that offshore, and that's all going to blow in as this system moves to the east. Let's look at this in the infrared loop. So we've got yet another system moving in. We still have high pressure dominating over the area. Today in Los Angeles, we had hot temperatures. It was around, I think it was 83 or 84 degrees, maybe a little hotter. But the key thing I was watching was the relative humidity. We had a 12% relative humidity at 10:30 in the morning, 10 or 11, I think it was. I looked at the meters, and very low humidity. And the same goes for the coastal cities that we were talking about: San Pedro, La Jolla, Newport Beach, Malibu. All of those areas had really low humidity, and that's because of this area of high pressure that's been parked in place for the last 2.5 days. And so they're going to have to maintain this high pressure in order to to block this system. Otherwise, we get plenty of rain. But the other problem is they've got this system parked in place to prevent, as I mentioned, from this moving east and getting wound up with that other system, which this moisture field here is feeding. All this warm water is generating a lot of thunderstorms and rain that is moving to the east. Okay, let's look at the surface analysis map. We have this developing gale right here, and this is forecasted to move to the east-southeast, and that's going to, depending on what this high does, apparently this high is going to also follow that. We've got an arrow here pointing to the south, so this is going to move and try to block what's going on with this moving in. We should be getting rain from this. We also have another system out here, actually two systems. We've got a storm way out in the West Pacific, which is moving east, due east, and then we have a system up here by the Aleutian Islands, which is moving to the northeast. And then we have all this high pressure down here, but we do have this developing system, and my guess is they're going to pump this up here in the next day. It's going to be very hot tomorrow. We just were listening to the news. This will probably be pumped up to block this system because we've got that problem with the stalled storm over at Colorado and the Four Corners states. We'll have to just keep an eye on things and see what they do. But they've got, we've got that storm out on the Atlantic. We've got this system here. We've got this one here, and then another one over here. So it looks like we're going to see a lot of chemtrails tomorrow based on the satellite. Look at all these trails. They're just all over the map. They're being sprayed everywhere, all through this entire area. And we can see what's happening. This is winding into California. So by tomorrow, we'll start to see some chemtrail activity in the skies. This is a pretty big system right here. It's developing, and they've got a transmitter on the core. We can see that. We also have a channel of dry air right here. Let's go back and take a look at the, they've got a, see we have another system moving in right here, and what they've done is they've built in a channel with a radar right here, phased array. It's cut a channel right here, and that is going to prevent this moisture field from moving in and feeding this developing system, which already has a transmitter on it right here. So we've got a transmitter here. We can see the imprint that's leaving all the way around this. We've got another one here, and then we've got one over here. And we have the one right over here. And so we've got one here, one there to maintain this high pressure and deal with that. So we've got two separate, plus we got this channel here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 5. And then we have something happening here. 5 transmitters. I often wonder how many of these transmitters they have that can they dispatch at once to work on what's going on. This is pretty amazing. We've got, this reminds me of last summer. We had 3 major hurricanes out here in the Pacific, all going along. I don't remember their names. But I have all that on video. If you just want to go back to July and scroll through, you get to see all that activity. Every one of those missed Hawaii. Anyhow, we're going to see a lot of chemtrailing here by probably sometime tomorrow. As this moves in, this should deliver rain, but I don't think they're going to, they're not going to allow that because of what's happening here. This will merge with this system if they allow that in. So something's got to give here. All right. You can see that big channel that's been built in right here. And we're doing the same thing right over here. And right here. So we got 1, 2, 3 channels. We got another channel between this system and the one out over the Atlantic. All right, we saw that. saw this. Saw that. And look at all that chemtrail activity. That's pretty intense. That's a lot of planes working there. I often wonder how many jets this chemtrail program, this aerosol program, has in their fleet. It's got to be more than 100. And when you figure the fuel bill and the maintenance costs alone, and then the infrastructure to load those planes with that slurry, that coal ash, fly ash slurry, it's got to run in the hundreds of billions of dollars, over $100 billion. This is a huge undertaking. Only a nation state could obviously undertake something of this magnitude. And I got to believe that they're doing this with satellites. Certainly there's ground-based transmitters under the ocean too, probably. I'm not sure how exactly those work, because ocean water can, microwaves don't work too, they don't work in I don't think they work in the ocean water, the salt water. That would not work too well. Ocean transmitting under the ocean requires low frequency, as far as I know, because of the attenuation of seawater. This doesn't work out very well. It shorts out the signals. All right, let's look at the. This is the ocean swell report. And we can see that there's 20-foot seas right here, 15 to 20 feet, right where that developing system is. And this is all moving in towards the California coast. We have basically 5 to 7, 8, 9 feet out here. Okay, let's look next at the sea level pressure map. We can see an area of high pressure here, 1,017 millibar. This is a very small area of high pressure compared to what's going on here and right behind it. So I would expect to see, and we have a low indicated right here. And of course that storm, well, this is part of that, I believe. Okay. So they're going to pump this up, I believe, by tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to get some rain. All right, let's look at the 500 millibar. We can see that low right here. And we have area of high pressure right here covering that whole northwest. You have that storm, that low pressure right here. And this will be blocked. This will probably move up depending on what happens. Let's take a look at the 300 millibar. All right, so we're just going to have to keep an eye on things. I imagine they're going to pump this up, so we'll keep an eye on the surface pressure, see what happens. But we've got basically two upper level lows right next to each other. And this is going to be moving in, so we may get some more wind. We'll just have to wait and see what they do. And of course, here's the East Coast once again. That tail of this is moving right along, and that's not being allowed to mix with this system. But what's happening here, we got a tropical flow feeding that anyway. So they may not have enough transmitters to go around to block this off. So that I'm counting 5 or 6 tonight in this sequence. All right, so that's pretty much it. Here's the East Coast pressure analysis. We have 1,004 millibar. That's that great big system right here off the United States. Okay, so that's it. We will go ahead and do another update tomorrow.